What's up? What's up? What's up? Bienvenidos, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this special presentation. Y'all, it's going to be hot fire. I'm so glad you joined us tonight. We are joined, I'm going to be joined by two of my best friends in the whole wide world, two of the biggest names in the expat life business, y'all. I am joined by Miss Charlotte Van Horn and Aisha Nang from Abroad Ability. And Charlotte, of course, you know, is from Black Expats in Panama. This is Big Will from Big Will TV and Black Sit Movement. Y'all introduce yourselves real quick.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Charlotte Van Horn, Black Expats in Panama. Hey, you know what? I'm so glad to be here. It is so fun to get together with Will and Aisha because they really are good friends, boots on the ground here in Panama. For those of you that don't know me, I am the founder and CEO of Black Expats in Panama, and we are the largest Black expat group in Panama, and we offer community, business development. Main thing we do is cultural relocation tours, and of course, we do consulting as well. You can find me on Black Expats in Panama on YouTube and almost everywhere else. And I look forward to seeing some of my friends who I know and meeting some new ones. So I'm Charlotte Van Horn, Black Expats in Panama.
All right. Thank you, Miss Charlotte. Thank you, Miss Charlotte. Go ahead, Aisha.
Hello, my name is Aisha from Abroad Ability. I discuss travel with a disability. I have cerebral palsy, and I have been chronicling my journey towards becoming an expat, outlining things you consider, different towns here in Panama, and I also am documenting my journeys from around the world. So welcome, and I'm excited to speak with you guys and share our story.
All right, thank you so much, and y'all forgive me. I'm gonna have to take a second to really introduce myself because I'm busy trying to produce all of this is live. Y'all just bear with us. I'm Big Will from Big Will TV. I've been documenting my wife and Black Sit or Exit from the United States over the past year and a half, trying to help connect people with the same resources that we had in order to find our peace. So. Follow me on the channel and let's keep rolling. So, sorry about that.
You're okay.
Tonight, we're going to cover a wide range of topics. We're looking for people to engage with us. In fact, we already got a few people shouting us out, you know, hey, babe, thank you, hola.
See there, your boo supports you. My husband don't pay me no mind. I don't even think he watched my videos.
He probably someplace cooking some ribs or something. What's he doing? Thank you, Tombstone, for joining.
Carlos and Maria from I couldn't do dinner with them tonight because I was hanging out with y'all, but it's okay. Hi, Miss Sierra.
Is that the Carlos from the Catamaran cruise?
Yes, that is the jamming Carlos.
Everybody love Carlos.
Yes, honey. Yes. We have a lot of fun as expats, don't we?
We do.
We sure do. We sure do. No doubt about it. Life has changed for the better. You know, how about this for starting out? How about a quick reflection? Since we just went into a new year and we were all together celebrating the last day of 2022. So we sent 2022 out of here on a private catamaran cruise to Toboga Island.
Yeah.
We spent the whole day on the beach. We were in the sun. We were getting fed and had a great time. So I know I was reflective of what the past year has been for us being in Panama. I mean, it was the bookend of our first full year as expats, and the night and day difference between the outlook now. Like, you know, when I'm on social media, I see a lot of the posts where, you know, 2023, who all over there, you know, I need to get some I need to see something before I agree to this new year and all these funny memes, and I get it, but I'm not in that frame of mind anymore because life is just so freaking great now, and it's like, well, if that was 2022, what does 2023 have to offer? So let me shut up and let one of y'all answer that question real quick.
No, do your thing, bro. I mean, I think that for me, it was an intentional day because 2022 was very busy. 2022 was very busy. 2022 was probably too busy. And I think that probably what a lot of you might not realize is that sometimes the whole expat life, baby, can wear you out. There's always something to do, especially here in Panama with Black expats in Panama, with it's such a large community, and we do things together. But I think yesterday or on New Year's Eve, I was just reflecting on the goodness, just the goodness of my life, my life. Just I've been in Panama for a full year, full time. In November, it was 1 full year, full time, Panama. We have a place in Florida, but I'm not there nearly as much. And it was just a gratefulness to me, gratefulness and looking around and all the new friends that I have, and my friends come and visit. So it was a happy time for me. Just chill.
Excelente. Aisha, any observations?
I do have one because I'm the newbie to the block. I just moved here in August, and for me, I had friends in the Bahamas that I would go see quite often. And this year they're like, "Oh, why don't you come for Christmas?" And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, why am I like, I don't know. I normally would like guess, like ticket booked before the question was even finished. And I realized that I was already at peace. I wasn't running away from my job. I didn't need that break. I found my peace and tranquility here in Panama. And then even though I still went, had a fabulous time as always, coming back and going on the catamaran ride 2 days later, I was just like, this is now my life.
Wow.
This is my life. And it was very humbling, really.
Yes. Yeah, Marsha. Yes.
No,
it's the truth.
That's the thing
It's
now.
the truth.
we mess with each other, but it's just an aspect of how we live now. She hits me with it when we go to a restaurant and everybody's Senior Will or whatever. or when you say things like, well, I don't know. Here's a good conversation. I'm gonna have to out this. So I'm planning a fish trip. Was it the fish trip? No, going to San Blas. We're going to San Blas. And she's like, well, I don't know. This is another boat ride. Take it out.
It's that SUV part for me too. That San Blas San Blas trip is adventurous.
Yes,
It is.
But it's well worth it.
Y'all know I'm not that adventurous. I'm doing so good. I was so proud of myself when I went threw myself on that net, on that boat. I would have never done that. One thing that surprises me about my life in Panama is that now I'm really coming out of a lot of the fears that I have. I'm really stretching out and kind of more embracing the nature thing. Not like too much, okay? But a lot more than I was. Chris laughs at me all the time. He's like, I cannot believe you're doing this, because he know how I was the first time we did a tour.
So I had a question in here. Let me go ahead and throw that out there. That was my surprise question, because I know, we shared some things beforehand, but what was it like celebrating the holidays in Panama?
Well, y'all want to start with Christmas?
Sure.
You can go.
Oh, okay. Well, so Christmas, this is our second Christmas here in Panama. So we're at the point now where we're establishing new traditions, things that we were looking to do. So last year for Christmas, we were able to get oxtails delivered from La Parada, Malibu. Let me give my man Kalo a shout out there, because he fed us on Christmas Day and drove it up to the building and delivered it to us. And It was wonderful. So, I spent the day trying to figure out, well, how am I going to get oxtails in Panama City? I don't know. I don't know where I can get oxtails, and everything that I kept coming up with ran dry. And then, the holiday, a lot of restaurants are closed anyway. So, um, but it's wonderful. I mean, the Christmas spirit here is so extremely prevalent. The Christmas lights went up right after Thanksgiving. I started hearing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in the stores, like Halloweenish. And then seeing the parade this year was fantastic. I didn't get a chance to see any Christmas parades out in Coronado. They didn't do that kind of thing. We saw some of the lights in the stores, but nothing like the lights that you see in Costco Viejo or along Avenida Balboa or the numerous city parks, or even driving. I don't even know what the name of that road is that goes near tourists, but the way they got all the lights with the looking like the whippoorwillows that all lit up, it's wonderful. So we had a good time. We miss family and we miss friends, but we were also on the rooftop.
Well, for me, Christmas is completely different. So when you come to Panama, don't expect the silent night, okay? Because they turn up, baby. Panamanians turn all the way up. When it comes to Christmas, I mean, it is more intense than than New Year's. Total turn up. And so this year, my street, everybody put their tables out in our carports. So we set up like almost like the LeBlanc, thing where you go and you make your own dinner and everything and bring your own stuff. Everybody had their dinner in their space on the street. Then we did karaoke. We had a champagne toast. We shared food together. We turned up until I cried uncle at 4:15. Okay, 4:15. I was like, okay, y'all got this. Y'all got this. But when I tell you, I had a wonderful time. I had never experienced anything like that. We had like the parents, they gave like Draco and Delana, who was kind of hosting it because Draco had all the music. He's a DJ and everything like that. And the parents gave them gifts to give the kids. So at one point there was this thing just for the kids, and they called out their names and they had gifts for them, right? And it was just so amazing. And at one point, I didn't post it because I was a little tipsy. Okay. And I was a little tipsy, but nevertheless, I mean, I have this one video that I don't know, maybe I just made it for myself. I was just like, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for this life that you've given me. There's just no way in the world that I could have imagined, being in a space and feeling the way that I felt at that moment. And it was just amazing. It was more than 4th of July, because just the camaraderie and the families together, that was very different. I can't say that I've really ever experienced that in the United States. And I was a little adverse to it. At first, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of noise. Like, really? Silent night? Hello? But by the time my second Christmas here, like I'm more immersed in the neighborhood and the neighbors, and it was just a beautiful thing.
Right. You see, Lawrence is like, it was like the 4th of July.
Yes, but better.
Right. Aisha, what were your observations? Well, you were in the Bahamas, but still.
I can discuss New Year's night. It was, what was it? It was, I deliberately came back to be able to experience New Year's here. I wanted to bring in the New Year in Panama. And it was nice to be surrounded by like new friends, old friends, and just to experience all of the fireworks. And I didn't have to leave my apartment to see them. It's just mind blowing what you can be exposed to here. Sorry, my cat's doing something. It was just, again, humbling, just
Mhm.
again, this is my life, and this is what it's like to live in another country and to see how they celebrate. And I kind of feel like they celebrate life almost every day.
Yeah, that's good, Aish. It's very
Simplicity,
good.
yeah, there's a simplicity, a joy, an embrace that you don't necessarily feel in the United States or all of the US. And I think that's why I wanted to reign in the new year here.
You know, as far as the new year, I have never done a New Year's Day event. I think that's what I experienced because in the past, it's always been what we gonna do New Year's Eve night. And let me tell you, by New Year's Eve night, I was listening. I was okay from Christmas Eve to the whole day out on the catamaran and at the beach on New Year's Eve at midnight. I was asleep till they start popping off all them fireworks. But I really enjoyed spending the day of the last day doing something
Me too.
that I enjoyed. And that's the other thing. We don't work like that. So
Right.
the other people was at work. And probably the reason why I haven't done a lot of day activities because I'm never on vacation and on New Year's Eve, you know, and usually I'm usually just working, I guess. And it's not even warm or anything. I mean, like the thought of doing a catamaran cruise on New Year's Eve was just like,
So I'm gonna pop this comment up there because you got a fan. Y'all got a fan that joined us. Greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. Nice to meet you.
mwah,
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
hola,
Thank you. All right.
hola.
So let me get to the next question here, and that is, and Charlotte, we'll start with you this time.
You gonna
How have
start
you?
with me?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, as much as I talk, you gonna start with me, baby. Listen, I'm about to sing Tremaine Hawkins. Change. Listen, I'm telling you, Alfredo, my business partners, you know, they will tell you, girl, who are you? Because especially Chris, my business partner, he's like, you have changed so much in the last like year or so that we've been doing these tours and working together. And I think what it is that I just kind of look at life different. I think that when you're not under the same stress that you are, I mean, I don't think that a lot of us in the United States in certain situations, I don't think that we even recognize. We're not even aware of the stress that we're under and how it affects us. Like, okay, just real quick. I was in the States. I went home to Florida for 2 weeks. Okay. And when I tell you, I was in a bad way the whole 2 weeks. It's the energy. It is the energy of the United States, and particularly places like Florida. It's just the energy was just like killing me. And I didn't really notice it until I got back because it seemed like as soon as I stepped off that plane, I was back to that chill girl again. It's like I ain't fighting with you, and people will know. You got people that's crazy and stupid or whatever. I just keep it moving. I ain't got time because I'm too happy. I'm very happy. I'm much more tranquil here.
Vihanna said,
I said what I said.
Yeah, V said she can see your change, Charlotte. Oh, wait a minute.
Peace.
Yes.
You good?
I'm just hitting all kinds of buttons. There I go. I done switched the order and everything. Look at that. I am on
That's
one
all right.
today.
Boom, stickity boom. You're fancy. You're fancy.
All right, Aisha, how have you changed?
I think it kind of piggybacks off of what Charlotte just said. I'm now embracing a life of ease that I didn't realize I needed. I didn't realize how stressed I was in the US, like the 9 to 5 job, which felt like 24/7. How I always felt like I had to have 20 things on my to-do list to feel accomplished. And I'm like, if I do one thing a day or a week, I'm okay with that now. Like, it's all about the life of ease and understanding that what I thought was really important before isn't really important now. And it'll get done when it gets done. And that's a big deal for a control freak.
Yes, that's all right.
Excelente. I'm going to piggyback off of everything that's been said already. I mean, one of the biggest differences is the stress level and there's so many nuances to how that stress is delivered. Like you said, Charlotte, you don't really understand how many ways it's coming at you. We still consume American news media, so I see what the Matrix is doing, but I'm not internalizing it anymore. I don't have to, my friends today were chatting about, the circus that's going on with the Republicans voting for a House Speaker and everything, and I'm like, whatever,
Yeah.
it's just it's indicative of dysfunction. But I've already identified that and done what I need to do to be out of harm's way. So it just hits differently. And then being here, having that sense of tranquil, that word that is prevalent here in Panama, it is pervasive. So I feel less stress. Blood pressure has been going down, and weight's coming down, and it's not like I'm really doing that much different. I think it's just because I'm eating better food, or okay, I'm making a few better choices, but for the most part, the Costera is warm every day, so I don't have to worry about winter. I just saw a Facebook memory of myself walking in the neighborhood on a 20-degree day with the lake frozen beside me and everything. And I'm looking at that picture from 5 years ago, and I'm thinking, now, how did I ever survive that? So the change is good. The change is good.
I just want to add to that, though, keeping it real, it's like, I think that part of that is because we're not connected to the politics of this country. We're not connected and affected by certain things that happen in this country as the countrymen, and women. And so I keep that in mind. I mean, because really, honestly, how much Panamanian news do you really consume?
Right.
How much do we really know? I mean, and I'd like to consume more, but first of all, their news is not on a 24-hour cycle like ours. First of all, it's like if you wanted to see that COVID report, you better be checking in at 6 a.m. for it, because I just don't see where it's like 24 hours, like CNN, the MSNBC. I don't see it that way in Panama. And I think that because of the language barrier, I think that's kind of part of it too. Mm-hmm. So I think that part of it is a little bit almost like when you come here, particularly when you have finances that others may not have, you come here and you have rich people problems.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that is the thing that I keep in mind, and I try to be sensitive about. It's like that fine line where I'm not really trying to apologize that I'm just so fulfilled here. And what I try to do is to sow and invest as much in the community as I can, because I know that the life that we're living here is not typical of the average Panamanian, and we are extraordinarily privileged.
I want
agree.
I want to piggyback off of that for two things. I do try to watch the news here. There are some stations I'll get clips on from YouTube, and even if I don't understand it all, you can get a sense of what they're talking about. And when I came in July during the protests, mm-hmm. I struggled with what I consider to be a blessing, with me being able to come back home as a descendant of a Panamanian. My grandmother was from here, mm-hmm. and seeing what Panamanians were fighting for in mm-hmm. the middle of me feeling liberated. It was a very strange moment for me, and you easily can live in a bubble here.
Yes.
Not worry about the politics. You don't hear people discussing it because you may not understand the language, but it's not to say Panama's perfect and there aren't struggles here, and that, yes, no, not everyone's happy. Not everyone's celebrating life, but it's just a different feeling. And I'm glad you brought that up, Charlotte. I think it is important for people to realize that you can very easily live in a bubble, but there is life going on around you that you're not experiencing.
Very good point. Very good point. Very well said. And I'm gonna piggyback on the same 2 points. I also consume Panamanian news, but I go and get the print version online. So like La Prensa and other
Prince.
websites, I try to read the news because to me that's the best way to get the facts without an opinion being shoved down your throat, depending on what you're reading, of course. But
Yes. Yes.
so I stayed somewhat abreast at like a 50,000 foot level view of
Mhm.
what's going on with the politics here, and the research that we did for the years prior to coming. It was apparent that the political climate here just isn't as divided as it is in the states. Everybody here wants to make money. The question is how they're going to do that. So that they,
Mhm.
and who's going to benefit from the money. Of course, an age-old question to what Charlotte and Aisha are speaking about. But I'm also a little bit more pragmatic about it. What you speak of the privilege, that was actually a calculated factor for me because I was well aware of the income level that we were at in the states and what that afforded for us. If
Sure.
I know the economic, it's okay. It's hard in the states because no matter what, I'm still, and I'm when it comes down to a cop, it is what it is. But there were some things that we were able to enjoy because that classism is set up, and my mindset was, all right, I didn't invent this. I've been surviving all the isms that someone else invented my whole life.
Yes.
I've been trying to play this game that they set up the best way I can. And if I have an opportunity to take myself out of a fire in a frying pan and then insert myself someplace where my income level does buy me into
Yes.
a certain bubble or privileged status that I can enjoy and finally have some peace and not be worried about someone trying to crack my head open, I'm with that.
I'm not apologizing now. I mean, because it is. It's like you would not. Let's be real. Are you really going to move to a country that you don't know to live worse than you live where you are, where you know is home, where you know that you belong? During the protest, there was so much chatter, and I have to be careful. And being
Hmm.
out front, we have to be careful in the information that we disseminate and allow to be disseminated on our platforms. So I have some people here in Panama who I trust completely. And I'm like, what's happening? I'm gonna need you to break this down to me. So, and I'm not as pragmatic as you are, but however, what I do is I have people like Tio, our tour professional. He's a historian here, and he broke down the whole history of protests in Panama, and just what he said happened.
Hmm.
Panamanians only do that when you push them to that place. Okay, that is when they do that, and they were successful. They were successful, and he would always say, "It take one voice in Panama. You raise your voice loud enough, and it will be heard." And so I have him. I have Christina, my friend Christina, and some others that I absolutely trust their opinions. And that is kind of how I got my, information and, was able to share.
Yeah, it was surreal witnessing the protest. I know we couldn't do but so much as foreigners here, but
Power to the people, you know.
y'all know where I stand. If anybody's connected me on social media or been watching the shows, you know where I stand. So
Power to the people.
it's not too hard to figure it out. So here's going to be an interesting one. I won't go ahead and take the lead on this one because there ain't too much for me to say. So what do we miss from the United States? Okay, first and foremost, we miss the connections with family and friends. You know, for me, I had moved around several times throughout my life. I was born in Ohio, grew first 6 years in Kentucky, then the next 16 years in North Carolina, went to college in Georgia, stayed there for 10 years and then went to DC for 30 years. So I moved around and I've been through leaving friends and hey, we'll be in contact and all that good stuff. But I've never experienced what I'm experiencing with an international move. So it's hitting a little bit different. We missed those connections, but that's you know.
You're so silly. You're so silly.
That's about. I mean, I could think of some fat boy food, but the food here is pretty good, so I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. That's about it for me. The family and friends, and what I miss. That's it. Shut up.
I'll go. I miss family and friends, but I also miss the ease of shopping.
Ah.
I am not a shopper at heart. I hate shopping, and I hate the fact that I have to go to 500 different stores here to get like 10 items. And I also miss just the, I don't know, deliveries to your house. There are shipping services here that you can pay a little bit extra to have it delivered to your house. I sound so spoiled, but that's all. That's all I miss in the U.S. other than friends and family. Like, it's just, I can't find the kitty litter.
Right.
Oh, Molly don't like the kitty litter.
It was Misha. It's here one day, the next week you can't find it. So it is different navigating. Like, I've gone to several stores trying to find something that was just here. So that's really the only thing I miss from the US.
So that's the thing I've noticed, and not with a lot of products, but every so often there's that one thing that you'll see at the Ray or Reba Smith, and the next times you go, it's just gone. So like now, or the next time I see it, I'll hoard it. I'm just, I'm from the US. So I bought everything.
Yes.
And take it home. I don't get that, y'all. There's these coconut covered cashews that I've been like waiting for like 5 weeks to get back in stock at Ray. When they back in stock, that's a wrap.
Are y'all gonna get them or not? Look, you go up in the store like, man, this the 5th week I've been looking. They're coming back or not? Yeah.
Panamanians so nice, they probably be so shocked by that.
It's for me, it is Tilex daily showers. Baby, when I go to the US, I brings back about at least 2 bottles of that Tilex spray and walk away. That's right. The spray and walk away stuff, they ain't got it here. I have not been able to find it. And like they said, actually, I have found it maybe once or twice. Okay. But it's like you say, oh my goodness, thank God they got it. And then you go back and they be like, they don't have it no more. Same thing with my Coffee Mate hazelnut creamer. Okay, come on now. Now they got some and they sell it in a box. But baby, I don't trust it. It's just something about it I don't trust. I just don't trust it. First of all, it be on the shelf out in it's not in the refrigerator. And it seemed like a little bit thicker or something. And I always be thinking of curdled milk or something. So sometimes I deals with it, but it's not what I want. I want my Coffee Mate hazelnut creamer. Then when they do have it, sometimes it's sugar-free. Okay, well, I done gained a few pounds. I'll take it. I'll take the sugar-free. But it's just kind of inconsistent. Baby, where my Johnsonville sausage? I'm just saying. It might seem petty, but I'm sorry. Panama sausage sucks. Y'all ain't got no good sausage here. I ain't never met a sausage I like up in this piece. I'm telling you right now, never in my life. What?
I'm disavowing. I'm putting a disclaimer. I'm doing a disclaimer for my.
I don't care. Look, Panama sausage sucks. As good as the pork is here, for some reason, and then when they say chorizo, I say, nah, I know I ain't gonna like it because it's flat. It don't have that spice. Like, give me a good andouille sausage, which you got to go to Reba Smith to get that. And then when you go, it's like really, really, really expensive. Okay.
So
Now,
let's convene us.
but coming off of my pettiness, okay, I know that was a little petty. It was a little petty. I'm with Aisha on the mail delivery. I can't even fool with it. It's rude. It's obnoxious. It's not friendly. And Alfredo, he deal with it. And somebody send me something, and somebody send him an email. They send him an email and say, "Hey, you got something," and then tell you what's in your package. Bang bang. What? They say it's clothes. Look, they say it's pants. How the hell you know that? It's like, what kind of x-ray do they have at these? So I don't even fool with it. I just don't. Then when you go, you got to pay something for it. You got to pay a little something to get it. So I just was used to like ordering my Amazon, bam, having it, shipped the next day. And I miss that. So I don't fool with the shipping at all. I really don't. Okay. Lastly, well, not quite lastly, Walmart. I'm sorry. There is not a store in Panama that I've ever found that compares to Walmart. You say, I don't care. You can judge me. I don't care. There ain't no Walmart here, and we need Walmart here. We need Walmart here or something comparable to Walmart, because there's nothing. There is nothing.
No. I get the same vibe. Vibe.
No. Mashitazo get tricky on you. Some of that stuff is really expensive, and it's not worth it. It's just, trust me, it ain't Walmart. Okay, last thing. Driving. I miss driving. Good and daggone well, when you miss DC traffic, it's bad. I miss DC traffic because I don't fool with this situation out here. I can't see myself doing the whole driving downtown thing at all. So I miss driving because it kind of takes away from my independence. That's all. I'm through. I'm done. I said what I said.
Did you mean it?
And I meant it.
Kavana had a good idea about bringing seasonings with her. Is that a thing? Do people bring seasonings with them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
we bring a lot. I brought a bunch of hair products.
So we got some help for you. Mateo wanted to help you out, Charlotte. So Reba Smith carries the Johnsonville breakfast sausage. I was just at Reba Smith today. I was actually impressed by the options too. Yeah. Here's my thing. I go to Reba Smith to get the hot dogs. I can't say I missed this about the United States because I know where to go to get the hot dogs. But being able to find the hot dogs that don't have the individual cellophane wrap on each little frank, and you got to peel the plastic off, because y'all, for the first few,
you're lazy.
I'm gonna go ahead and say months. I'm gonna go ahead and confess. For the first few months, I was really confused about that. Like, well, do I cook the sausage with this thing on and peel it off later? Because it never came off cleanly. So then I just realized, let me just go and find the hot dogs I'm looking for. So they got the Oscar Mayer joints that are in the packet you can open, and this one little hot dog, and I can just put it on the plate and warm it up, and I'm good to go. That is, I can't say I miss it. Like I said, I found it. You just have to look for it. But to Aisha's point, I went to 2 different grocery stores today to get everything. But that used to be a real big thing in Coronado. We used to actually go to 3 grocery stores to get everything. Here in the city, most of the grocery stores have such volume that we can generally find what we want. But, I get this bottled water here. I haven't switched over to a delivery company. I'm still hoofing this myself. So I didn't want to go to another store. But then it dawned on me today that if I brought that empty bottle, they probably don't know where the empty bottle came from, do they? Anyway. That's another problem. Somebody put that in the chat if I can get over and just bring my empty bottle to any store and get the
bring an empty bottle of what? I'm sorry, my computer was
water bottle.
Oh
no. So Lux Travel asked about Costco. So there is an equivalent here called PriceSmart. It used to be owned by Costco, so you do have to have a membership. And you walk in, it feels exactly the same. But yes, and Mateo's saying it too. Oh, so 2 people said Costco. So, and PriceSmart. So Mateo had mentioned PriceSmart earlier for the kitty litter. I have not gone there because it's a specialized one, but I will try it and I will let you know.
You haven't been to PriceSmart?
No, I have. I didn't go there looking for the crystal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I still need to go to PriceSmart. I never went in the beach because we didn't have any place big enough to store what I was going to buy in the meat section and all that good stuff. So, here in the
Well,
city,
it's really good, especially for your paper products, because paper products are very expensive in Panama. That's the other thing. I know I'm petty. Don't judge me. Sometimes I bring back full-size napkins, serviettes. The napkins,
Yes.
them little diner-sized napkins they got here are rude and obnoxious and unnecessary. And I got big lips, and I need 2 or 3 of them just to wipe my mouth. I need them big dinner. I need them big dinner napkins, the extra big ones.
Oh, Charlie's.
And they're expensive.
Do you guys want me to start with this question?
Yes.
You
Wait a minute. But before you start, let me preface this. This is the one that says she don't know how to speak. But go ahead, answer the question.
Well, how is your Spanish and what techniques, methods are you learning or working on? Or what works best? Okay, so yo hablo Spanglish. I did take I hear some mumbling in the background. I did take Spanish like in junior high school and high school. But before I came, I prepped myself by like watching Netflix shows in Spanish with English subtitles. Anyone at work that spoke Spanish, I asked them to only speak to me in Spanish and to help me out. Nice. I would listen to music, Zumba. Oh my gosh, Zumba. You learn different songs and movements and they tell you what to do. I also started watching children's cartoons, which at first was it felt silly, but it really works. So I made them do an exercise where you learn head, shoulders, knees, and toes in Spanish, and different things. And I'm starting, so you can meet people here that want to like learn English, and so you can do a swap and just make sure they're cute.
Method to the madness.
Marsha.
That is too funny. How about you, Miss Charlotte?
Okay, so when am I really starting to look like Lunel? I feel like I'm looking like Lunel. Okay, listen. As far as the Spanish goes, I'm just really getting into it. And what's really helping me a lot, because sometimes it's so hard you avoid it. And I know that I am really like proud of the people that come and don't have people like my husband, because it's like my husband, I would just lean on him for everything. It was like I wasn't even trying. You know what I'm saying? Alfredo, what she say, but at the end of the day, it is hard to I don't know how people come to the US and not speak English. I just don't know how, because let me tell you something. The relationships that you miss, there would be people in a group and you would just know like, oh, wow, if I spoke the same language as her, I bet we would really be able to kick it. You could just tell that you would like a person. But that language barrier, would keep you from meeting a new friend pretty much. So finally, where my Spanish really has started to improve, number one is being here full time. That's a big help. So that's a help, because even though my husband is Panamanian, it wasn't like he was like teaching me Spanish every day. And honestly, I didn't want him to, just like, did you pay the bill or not? I ain't got time for all that, all that, whatever. But I think that for me and my neighbors have developed this relationship, and they're foreigners too. They're from Venezuela, and we started exercising together, and we started teaching each other Spanish and English. And it has made such a wonderful difference. It's like they are my best friends, where I went like probably 2 years without hardly speaking to them other than hola, ¿cómo está? And I'm running in the house because I was so intimidated. And it was just, it's not easy. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not easy, but it's getting easier. I have never tried Duolingo, but I know a lot of people do that. So what I do is just keep trying to listen and hear, and use it as much as possible. And then we have also started a group, Black Expats in Panama created, and my neighbor, Delana. We host a group called Cafe and Conversation that is super successful. We meet every fourth Sunday, and people who want to speak Spanish come, and people who want to speak better English come. And we just conversate over food, and it's fun, and we make a fun time of it. And it's just been life-changing for me. So that's kind of how I'm dealing with it. And my Spanish is getting a lot better. Alfredo can't talk about me in my face no more. He be like, oh man, I can't talk about it no more.
I noticed on the camera ran, you were understanding what the people were saying. And I was like, well, look at Charlotte.
Oh, suck it now. It's just like it comes little by little. Right. And I'm so excited to see where I'll be next year.
Progress.
So excited.
Progress. So
yes.
Spanish. When we came here, neither one of us were Spanish speaking. I'd studied French for 12 years in high school, junior high school, and college. And then I took one semester of Spanish at Spelman just to change the scenery. I was tired of looking at the back of the head, so I wasn't really paying that much attention. But since being here, first started with doing online tutoring, and I used a service called Preply or Preply or P-Reply or something like that, .com. But it was full of Spanish tutors from all over the world, and you could dial up where you wanted your tutor to be from. So I wanted to learn native Panamanian tutor, right? And we would hook up for hour-long sessions, and that was my first deep dive into Spanish here in Panama, besides living here and having to, sit in a restaurant and have someone feed me. Or go to the clinic and find out what's going on with my shoulder or whatever the case may be. But the good news is, even with our Spanish skills, we haven't died yet. So obviously, since we're still breathing and consuming oxygen, it's not life or death. But to Charlotte's point, I am feeling a lot more confident, and I'm loving how people are starting to, the Panamanians are starting to relate to me. So I don't know if anybody noticed this, but I like to talk a lot and real gregarious and joke. And I need to be able to know the language to be able to do that kind of stuff. Yes. So I've been held back for a year, but now I'm starting to get to the point where I get some Aisha Spanglish going, and they know what I'm saying. And now it's wink, wink. Here's a little extra coffee for you, senor, and all of that good stuff.
Just coffee. Yes. Just coffee. Only coffee.
Yes. And it's a good feeling. And the other thing too is that I wished I had started earlier, though. I wished I had really kind of started taking it more seriously earlier. But the other good thing about that is they say that learning a language at an older age is like so good, because you use these parts of your brain that you're not used to using. It's just like, exercising your brain. And so that's the other benefit of having to, learn a new language in another country.
Here's a good one. Let's. Why is community so important? Expat or local? I mean, I can try to take a stab at it. Let's see. Whew. I gotta keep it PG. Let me woosah for a second. So community is important because that's the basis for your network, your support network, the people that you're going to do things, the people that you're going to share experiences with. So being able to go to a place and quickly establish, some sense of community is vital. And I'm absolutely floored at our ability to have done that with this move. And a big part of that is because of one of the people that's on this call is Charlotte Van Horn and her group, Black Expats in Panama. So in our experience, we joined that Facebook group once we knew that we were serious about looking at Panama, and we wanted to soak up as much information about it as possible. And the group is full of expats that are willing to share their experiences and thoughts about getting here. So, we hooked in to the community. We met some people. We came here for a site visit, and we already knew people in the building that we came for the site visit, which ended up being the building that we moved to in Coronado when we first got here. But being able to have that sense of community was important. I remember, when we were getting our COVID shots and our COVID vaccinations, and we knew our flight was like a month out, and we were in the car or whatever talking to each other like, "Are you sure you want to do this? It's COVID. Look at you, ain't nobody doing nothing. You sure you want to go?" And also the thoughts of, we're going to this really strange place. And I think one of the things that helped put Sonia's mind at ease was the fact that there were people from DC in that building. There was multiple people from DC in that building. So having that sense of community was just so vitally important. And because we're in a new space and absent some of the stressors that we had in the States, to me, it's vitally important that we come here and we recreate or build a sense of community, not just with expats, but also with Panamanians, but do it in a different way, because we don't have the same things bogging us down that we did in the States. That whole greed is good, Gordon Gekko mentality, or getting the bag and individualism, where here we can be our best selves. We can be what we always thought. When you remember when you were militant in college and everything was just so clear cut and you knew how you were going to be, you can be that here, if you want to. But it takes work, and it takes everybody on the same page. So let me shut up before I start getting preachy.
I would say for me, I'm the only single person on this, in this, what are we? Whatever we are.
Squad.
The squad, baby, the squad.
Thank you. So I think having the community already in place before I moved here just made it so much easier, and it wasn't as scary. There were people that, day one, I could just put in a chat, "Hey, does anyone want to meet for lunch?" And then strangers show up, and then they become your friends, or they let you know about different things that are going on. So for me, although I moved alone, I didn't feel alone, and that was because of the expat community. And the beauty of it is you don't have to go to all the events. You don't have to do everything. You just pick and choose what you want. You become friends with who you want, and you just keep it moving. But it just made it so comfortable and inviting. And like, if you need help, if there's an emergency, the way the expat groups corral to help you is just, I haven't seen anything like it. It's almost like your neighbors on your street, but it can be expats from all over the country. And even if there's an emergency, people are checking in on each other. It's an extended family that you didn't know.
Mm-hmm. So for me, we just had a situation where we lost a Black expat. And he died, and he was probably deceased in his home for about 5 days. And that was a wake-up call, I think, for a lot of us about having community. You're in a different space. We're older, not to say that 30-year-olds can't die suddenly, but the fact that we're older means that we're a little closer to death, traditionally. And having that community, somebody that you're checking in with daily. We created a new program since his death, since Tony's death, Anthony's death. Whereas I told people they could send me, Black expats in Panama, contact information. When somebody dies or something happens or somebody gets hung up at the airport, somehow or another, people contact Black expats in Panama. Hey, we got somebody who's experiencing this or that or the other. And so I agreed to keep emergency contact information for our expats. So it is important to have somebody that's checking on you, especially if you're here alone on a daily basis. Y'all ain't got to talk, but just make sure you text every day. You know, my best friend, she's in North Carolina, baby. Let her not answer that phone. Let her not answer that phone. She lived by herself. I'm like, girl, don't play with me because I will have the police at your house. I'll be calling her sisters in New Jersey like I've not heard from my girl. So, I mean, I just think that part is important about community. I have a neighbor down the street. We've been in our home we've had our home for 10 years. And one of my best friends in the neighborhood, Gigi, down the street, they moved in. We were one of the first streets to be completed in this development. And Gigi, she came by. Gigi is my good friend. We moved in around the same time. And then she came one day and she said, we were going walking, and she said, well, I haven't seen she says, I haven't seen Mr. Alfredo. And I said, girl, I buried him in the backyard. But then I told her, I said, but you know what? You know, he hasn't been feeling well. His back had been bothering him. But I appreciated that she recognized that she had not seen him. Because I was still traveling back and forth from the States, and he was here alone a lot of times. And so it was good to know that somebody in the neighborhood was going to notice if he wasn't spraying down, you know, the driveway or washing his car. She said, I hadn't seen him doing any of that. So that right there, I think, is very important when it comes to community. And I think that having friends in both communities, the expat community and the local community, is the best of both worlds. I am really big on that. I am not trying to come and live in an all expat community. I could do that in the United States. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? I am looking for something fresh and new, and to learn new things, and to learn new culture, and to make new friends, and to broaden my horizons. There is nothing like a traveled person, and especially somebody that has lived in another country, especially when they've embraced that country. And I think that, you know, the community and, you know, embracing the locals it just adds icing to the cake. It really does.
No doubt about it. And these are some lovely people. You know, their sense of cultural respect. You know, I've had to remember. Okay, I grew up in North Carolina, so there was some of that Southern hospitality there, but not quite as much as here. But I've had to go back to stop being DC and just asking for my Big Mac. I have to ask this person, say good morning to this person, and how are they doing? Then ask for my Big Mac.
I don't eat McDonald's.
I mean, you know, I'm just playing. I just put
you
that
eat McDonald's here. I'm just saying, though. Do you eat McDonald's here? I don't like the beef here.
I tried the McDonald's here, and it's better. It's better.
What?
I won't eat I won't eat the lunch, but I stopped one time. We were driving to the city, and I stopped at the Mickey D's for breakfast, and it was better, and they had different choices. I had more options. I had some kind of sausage biscuit that I couldn't get in the States, and it was every fast food I've had here that's in the States is better here. KFC, Wendy's.
You know, they have different cows here, and I can tell. Okay, I'm just saying, I do partake of the cow. Okay, and the cow that I eat is fat.
That's funny.
She's fat, and the meat is tender. But the cows here are different, and I forget the name of them. But the meat is a lot tougher, and I don't like to eat beef here.
Yeah, beef. I don't eat a whole lot of beef.
No, I don't eat a whole lot of beef either. So I've just never, somehow or another, I've just never wanted to try McDonald's here.
Yeah, I was one off. But the KFC, we just got the curiosity just got to the best of us. So I was resistant for months, but we just kept driving past in Coronado, and finally we were like, let's see what they do with fried chicken. And it was good. In the Wendy's, we had that at the mall in Westfield, I think, or Albrook, one of the malls, just because it was quick and fast, and we were trying to. But it was good. But I had the chicken sandwich. I got it. Like I said, I don't do the beef. So, all right.
But the swine. Whoa, baby! Listen. This pork over here have Muslims partaking. Mess around, have Muslims eating bacon.
Wait a minute.
Look.
I gotta find that comment that came across. I gotta put it on you now, Charlotte. When it. Where's your comment at, Tombstone?
They gonna get me.
Right. Tombstone put into words where I was like the views expressed by Charlotte do not necessarily.
That was way up there.
That was way up there. I ain't trying to catch that Muslim smoke.
Who said that? Don't come for me. Don't come for me unless I send for you. I'm just saying. I mean, it's like everybody has a different opinion, but I really enjoy the pork here. It's very good. It is very good. It's like that chuleta is like, and I'll tell you, I have swine in the morning time. That's it.
Yeah.
Swine in the morning
time. And they feed you here.
Smoked chuleta. Oh, you talking now, baby.
We stopped at this roadside grill halfway between the city and Coronado, and I ordered pork chops. It was like pork chops with some papas, the potatoes, and maybe some arroz, and a little bitty ensalada. You know how they do, a little bitty ensalada. But when the pork chops came, it came on like the fajita grill, still sizzling, and it was 3 of them. And I mean, I'm built for this, but at the same time, like, really, you expect me to eat all 3?
You trying to give me 3 pork chops at once?
For the prices. I'm trying to understand what kind of pig, is it like Jack and the Beanstalk with magic pigs, and they just keep multiplying? Or
I saw your post today about egg prices, but baby,
the egg prices.
Have you seen the price of bacon in Panama lately?
No.
Which bacon? Their bacon or our bacon?
Oh, I'm talking $19.
Really?
Last time I went to buy bacon, the nice little thick cut slice, I had to talk myself. Matter of fact, I left it there. Alfredo picked it up, put it in the cart, because I freaking refused. It was like $19. And I remember during the protest, a lot of pigs died because they had stopped. I mean, just truckloads of pigs perished. So I'm figuring that probably, supply and demand. They lost a lot of good food during that protest, though. That was one of the things that happened. And so I was thinking that it may have been that. But we have one question that I saw on my page, and it's Grace. And Grace wanted to know, how bad is the humidity? She wants to do a tour in April. So let y'all go ahead and tackle that. What do you think about the humidity here?
You want to go first, Ice? Because I'm about to blow it up.
Yes. My hair is usually more defined. Like it was wavy when this started, and I'm inside. Like I came from Houston, which is very humid. Panama, no, Houston doesn't have anything like Panama. I will go outside, run an errand, come back, and I'm just it's just on you. But it's not where it's so bad where I don't want to live here. But it is humid.
Right. So, all right. So I'll give you 2 perspectives because I've lived in the beach and the city, and there is a difference. I'll start with the beaches because I can be kind. The beaches are a lot less humid because they're in an area, and I don't know the Spanish term for it, but it's called the dry arc. And it's like you can see the mountain range protecting that whole area. So it's less humidity and it's less rainfall on the beaches during the rainy season than you experience here in the city. The city ain't no joke, y'all. The city, whew, it's like New Orleans. And, DC is built on a swamp. And every summer, I used to be walking in and out of these federal buildings with my, Brooks Brothers suit on and tie up to here. And I'm just like, who in the hell made this dress code?
Yes.
I don't understand. But that's here now. The Panamanians bless their hearts. In the city, the men don't wear shorts. So I always look like a tourist, when I wear shorts because I'm gonna be comfortable. My legs ain't gonna sweat. But every so often, I'll throw on some jeans because I want to go incognito. It's funny. It kills me how they wear jeans. But and I'm sweating constantly. So I have gear, and some of this gear is available through my affiliate link on the YouTube page. But I have gear. I have a sweat towel that I keep with me always. It's ubiquitous. And I have a neck fan that, sometimes I forget it. But for the most part, especially when I'm walking the Santa Costera in the mornings, I don't know if I could survive without it. If I get out there before the sun rises, the humidity hasn't really kicked in yet. But once the sun gets maybe 5 or 10 degrees of motor horizon, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. But just like Aisha, it's not enough to make me not want to be here. I mean, I just wear t-shirts and shorts, and most of the time I'm by a pool or something. So
I guess if you have to be out in it for long periods of time, I like the warm weather, and to me, it is much more comfortable here than it is in DC. To me, the humidity here is not nearly as bad, doesn't feel as bad as it does in DC. But I guess the thing about DC is it's a shorter period of time that you have that heat and humidity, because the humidity is a real situation here because the mold, you could tell by the mold and the mildew that, the maintenance here on your home, I have had shoes. The climate is different because every time, listen, I done had shoes for years. And listen, when I pull my stuff out trying to be cute and going downtown, I better put me some flip-flops in my bag because I'm telling you, my shoes is blowing out. My shoes is like just disintegrating. Like, really? After I've had them for all these years. And so it is definitely a thing. The mold, you can tell by that. For me, it's just not that bad. Now, I tolerate it well, but what you can tell, well, you didn't make me big like you did for yourself.
My bad.
Okay. Okay, make me big. That's right. That's right, make me big. Shoot. Don't play. So here's the thing, y'all. Listen, you see this right here? This is my gold. Matter of fact, I bought this gold from a pawn shop in Suitland, Maryland, probably about 30 years ago. Baby, probably haven't worn it in 10 years because I like silver. My silver here in Panama, I'm a mess. It's like it just turns. It's like, I guess the salt and the sweat, and I wear John Hardy. It just be crazy. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, it's really bad. So it is, the humidity does exist, and it exists for longer periods of time. Like Will and like Aisha said, it is definitely not nothing to keep me away from here. The question also involved her wanting to come on a tour in April. Listen, come on a tour. If you're really thinking about relocating to an international space that you don't know a lot about, in Panama, there's 2 seasons. There's wet and there's dry. And I think that, do they call it winter, y'all? I know we're going into summer, but do they call the other thing winter, or is it just rainy?
No,
It's
just
rainy,
summer.
rainy and summer. They call it rainy and summer. And so if you're going to move to an international place that you don't know a lot about, you need to visit during the seasons. Okay, you need to make sure that you can tolerate the season as it is, because it's not going to change because you get here. So, but if you come in April, it's going to be dry. That is dry season. Can't guarantee what the humidity is going to feel like, but you're not outside 24. You're not outside the whole time, and I guess it just doesn't feel bad. Okay, somebody asked, real quick, y'all. Somebody asked, is the weather in Greece of the Gulf more like beach or city, please? Oh, I just like the por favor part. I mean, who is that? She gave the please. I guess it's not as hot as being like dead in the city, but it is a suburb, and it's populated. It doesn't have as many trees as somewhere that you might live that's more rural, and it doesn't have that breeze coming off the beach. So it's kind of like in between, but it's hot as hell here, just like it is in the city. We have our weather is very similar to what's happening in the city.
I'm with Lisa. 2 seasons, summer and rainy summer.
Summer, your son. Yeah, right. Summer and rainy summer. It's always hot.
It's always hot.
I used to notice my people, because my husband has family here, and it never dawned on me. It's like, it don't matter when I come, they have like the same outfits. But that's because they don't need 4 seasons like we do, because it's summer all the time. Like Lisa says, it's always warm, whether it's raining or not.
This is the climate that humanity was created in. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
We were we supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Aisha, did you want to cover mold at all?
Aisha, you look extraordinarily beautiful tonight. I love your puffy hair.
Thank you. Mold.
Just a taste.
Yes. I had rented my apartment in July, about a couple of weeks before I moved, and when I came back, the entire apartment was covered in mold. Like the table, everything. It was almost like a coating, it was like a new paint job. It was all over the furniture. It was just everywhere. On the fridge, just everywhere. And I was only gone for a couple, maybe 3 weeks. And I had put out damp rids. And it was, I have a video coming out on it, but I've had it cleaned and remediated. And it's been 4 months. This is the first time I feel like it's gone in 4 months. I had to order special filters to capture mold because the HVAC system in here didn't even have a filter. When they came with a filter, they didn't put in one for mold. They put in one for dust. So I don't know
what a damp rid is.
Damp rid, I don't even have any out right now. Damp rid is a little contraption that absorbs the moisture. So they have some that you can hang up in your closet. I have 2, and you can see the moisture filling up in the bottom of the bag. Dehumidifiers. I had to purchase little dehumidifiers. I have one in the kitchen, my closet, bathroom, living room, and bedroom. And I change them out anytime the light goes on. And there was a dehumidifier here. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what it was.
Oh.
They didn't say run it every other day. They didn't give any instructions. So I didn't know what it was. So yes, Sharon says you have to keep everything moving. We used dehumidifiers in Bermuda. Yes. So I was clueless, and I learned the hard way. So it's been hectic, but I still love it here, even with the mold.
Yes, Marlon. By the way, Marlon misses your video, so get busy, okay? Right. You lazy.
Hey, Marlon. Hey, look, man, I'll be staying on it, bro.
Listen, she lazy. She lazy. I don't know that. She just be chilling. She like, I don't feel like it.
Well,
The other
we
thing
rewind
about the
to
other thing, but they miss you. The
That's
other
the
thing
thing.
about the mold, though, because we had our house for several years before we were here full time, and I didn't want nobody peeing in all my corners. Yes, I said what I said. I just didn't want that. So it was my new house, and I didn't want nobody living in it. So we didn't have anybody living in it for probably the first, I don't know, 3 or 4 years that we had the house. But then my tax man said, you know what, you're ignorant, you're silly. Okay, so we had to do something different. But let me tell you something. We had the house cleaned every single month. Don't think you can come buy a house in Panama and go on back to the States and just be chilling and relaxing and come home to Panama and think you finna spread out in your crib, because you're probably going to have a mold situation when you get back. I had a dehumidifier that I had draining in the shower. So I had that going. I had damp rids like Aisha talked about. I had somebody come in, open up the house, and clean it every single month. Because other than that, your house was going to mold. It was going to mold. And when my husband told me, you can't buy the same, some of the furniture in the United States is not made for Panama. I was like, come on now, furniture is furniture. You know what I'm saying? Look, yeah. Panama is no joke when it comes to the mold. You have to be on top of it. If you are a person who has a severe allergy to mold or mildew, this may not be the place for you. So sorry for yourself. This may not be the place for you, because it is prevalent. When you come off the plane in Panama, you can smell it. Am I right? Can't you smell it in the air when you hop off that plane and you get in that little breezeway? When you come off the plane, it's nothing like it. So it is a real thing. You just got to stay on top of it. You got to be careful buying houses that have been sitting a long time. So if depending on the climate, like in the United States, if you have a house and say, well, girl, it's got this or that, it's got spiders, it's got this and that, because ain't nobody been in there for 2 years. Well, baby, it might have a whole lot more in there if it's been sitting in Panama. So you definitely don't want to buy nothing sight unseen here, because you have to make sure that it's not moldy.
So Lisa Mays, do you keep the dehumidifier running all the time? I keep my little mini ones, the 5 ones, running all the time. I do, the small ones. The large ones, I just turn them on and off as needed. And I purchase little sensors to let me know, not sensors, meters, to let me know what the humidity is in my apartment, in the kitchen, closet. So once it gets to a certain level, I'll turn on the big one. But I have the little ones running all the time.
We don't use them. Now that we're here, we have fans circulating, we have air conditioning on, the house is being lived in. But when we were not there, we had to use everything we could to keep our house from molding.
AC, before we get to Mateo's Jazz Fest thing.
Okay.
When I first came, I had my AC running often until I got my electricity bill. 2 months of that electricity bill, I was like, so I'm going to fans, and the dehumidifiers are running all the time.
Wow.
That electric bill can make you a believer sometimes. So that's
they make you pay for the luxuries now.
Yes, that's a big thing.
You pay for that. You pay for that luxury.
I noticed it wasn't as expensive at the beach. Maybe because it was more of a breeze coming through, but and then it could also be the appliances. They might have had energy efficient appliances, and where we are now, we don't.
It's a combination of all that, and I also heard it depends on where you live. You might be charged an electric rate.
So yeah, one of our good friends, an expat, shout out to Jay, who should be on a plane right now about to land. They went through the whole process of figuring out what was going on with their electric bill, because they were traveling and turning everything off and still being hit with these sky high electric bills. And it turned out to be the appliances. And then they learned that what's the power company here? Naturgy. Naturgy has tiered pricing based upon where you live. So for us in the city in Avenida Balboa, we pay a higher tier for the same electricity than somebody, in another part of the city would pay. So yes, that's the thing, y'all. Be ready for that. But my man,
I didn't want to spend the money on economy or efficient, because efficient, you have to get an efficient air conditioner. In Panama, not as many people have central air. Central air is not nearly as popular here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Central air is not nearly as popular in Panama as it is in the United States. So, you get these air conditioned units on your wall. It's like wall units, not the old ones that go in the window, but people have wall units, and you might have to have one in every room. So that's something to consider when you're moving here. You might have to have one in every room, and I don't know, maybe we paid too much, because some people have told me that I have, but I mean, I don't think that not one of our air conditioners installed and purchased was less than $1,300. So I don't know. Maybe we paid gringo prices, but we got our stuff a long time ago, and we got them kind of one or two at a time. But if you make that extra money, if you make that extra investment into an economic, what's the word, y'all? Efficiency, energy efficient air conditioner, it makes a big difference on your bill.
So my man Marlon had asked a question. Not Marlon, Mateo. My bad. Is this it? I think about going to the Panamanian Jazz Festival on the 16th. So that's a big thing. Really excited about it. I think this is the first time in a couple of years that Panama's actually been able to have people come to the Jazz Festival. So I know we're going for a night. As a matter of fact, LW, if you're watching, I need to hit you for those tickets, but we're definitely going to the festival. How about either one of you guys going?
Probably gonna go for one night.
No, I am conducting a tour during that time, Sisters in Panama. We will have a jazz cruise on the 17th within my group. We're going to have a jazz cruise. In case y'all want to come, it's going to be on the 17th. So I will not be going this year.
Cruise, you
also, look, shameless plug. Shameless plug. No shame in my game. Right?
You want to come? We all about that boat life. We all about that boat life now.
Exactly. And we're going to have Panasax. You ever seen Panasax? That brother that plays the saxophone here. Oh, it's good. It's Pan Sax, I think is what he calls himself. But he's going to be on there, and we're going to have cocktails and whatever. And so it's going to be fun. We have a lot of fun. But he was also wondering what was happening. Was there any events going on in April? And April 3rd is going to be the Cultural Caribbean Day, which is like a day that you must plan your vacation around. If you're coming to Panama, you need to plan your vacation. Usually we have our Cultural Caribbean Day on the 3rd of every month. So that will be happening on the 3rd. We will have monthly events for the business-to-business meetups, the single and satisfied meetup, and the cafe and conversation. So those are the regular meetups monthly. It just depends on when you'll be here.
Beautiful. And let me share this comment, because this is one of my brothers. Go way back, one of my Morehouse brothers, and he wants us to know that he enjoys watching the content that we three present. I know he's consuming it because he stays engaged in the Black Expats group, and he's buying merchandise from Aisha and Winston. We're gonna have a ball when you get here next week, bro. So look forward to seeing you, man. Look forward to seeing you. So questions. Let's go back and this is probably gonna be an easy one.
Yeah.
Do we need to go like even individual perspectives on this?
Surely you jest. Surely you jest.
Ice, no.
Well, I feel like I just came back like a month or so ago, and I didn't want to leave to go back to the U.S. And part of it was to handle some affairs that I didn't close out before I moved, and it was too soon, and I just didn't feel like I had a chance to get settled into Panama before returning back to what I ran from. But no, the only thing I think about is maybe visiting friends or family, but a lot of them are starting to come here. So unless it's to handle some sort of business, I really don't think about going back to the US. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to live in another country, and now I do. No reason to go back.
So we ain't been back yet. I'm just gonna put that out there. We ain't been back yet. We had tickets, and we kept the landing tickets to go back. We were gonna go back at 6 months, maybe at 12 months, and then 14 months, because we have stuff in storage. We want to rescue some of the stuff in storage. We want to see some folks, but things keep happening. And it's like every time I turn on Facebook and I see my friends posting stuff, and I'm like, they done lost their minds. Not my friends, but the people that they're posting about. So it's just like, nope, that's okay. We're good. We'll stay here, and we were gonna go back in March, but it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold, and we are really coming to terms with the fact that we are punks to cold weather at this point. We went out to dinner a day or two right next to our building, and it's an outdoor beach club, like tiki huts and everything. So we're sitting there in this open air environment, and there's a nice breeze coming through, and I'm in a t-shirt and shorts and cold. I'm like, I'm pulling out the phone, looking at the temperature. It's like, oh, it's 73, and I'm like, oh my God, what happened? So I don't
got spoiled.
We're gonna get, I'm soft. I'm this Twinkie feeling when it comes to the cold weather. So we'll go in June.
I would just like, my husband was supposed to go back in. He was going to go back in February, and then he was just like, when they seen all that cold snap across the United States, he was like, look, I'm gonna wait. He said, I'm gonna wait till April. Will, make me big.
My bad.
Hey. Hey, y'all. Okay, so with my Lunel looking self. Look, my thing is this. Like I said, the energy is different in the United States. Will I ever feel like I want to go back home? I don't know. And the other thing that I think that we need to consider when we are considering an international change is that it don't have to be forever. You know what I'm saying? If you move to Wisconsin or, Florida or Virginia or somewhere within the United States, nobody thinks, oh my God, are you going permanently? No, it just depends. I'm going to be there as long as it's right for me. And that's how I kind of feel about Panama. So with that said, no, I don't think I'm trying to go back into the United States. I want my kids to come here. That's what I want. I want my kids to come here. And, so far they have not, but I like Panama because we can get back and forth and see them easily. Panama affords me opportunities that I just did not see in Panama. People have invited me to tables that I would not have dreamed of being invited to in Panama. And it's like, wow, every day, it's like, as far as the business opportunities and the business to business opportunity, it's like, I can't imagine, right now, I just can't see it. I don't think about returning to the United States. I think about bringing my people here. or just getting my people out of the United States. I'm a strong advocate for passports, and whether you go and look, give yourself the choice. You say, do you think about returning to the United States? The only way I can be thinking about returning to the United States was that I was allowed to leave. And if you don't have a passport, you're not allowed to leave. So give yourself the choice so that you can be a part of the conversation. You don't have to relocate. You don't have to, do anything like what we're doing, but do yourself a favor. Get yourself a passport so that you can answer this question, when it comes up. Do you ever think about leaving the United States? If you don't have a passport, that's all you're going to do is think about it.
So let me.
I said what I said.
There you go. Let me take a quick moment to, I guess, reemphasize what Charlotte just said, because she just touched upon something that's deep with me, and one of the reasons why I have my show is to help connect people with the information that they're going to need in order to make this escape possible. I call it Blacksit because we're Black, and we were exiting the country, but the information on the show is really for anybody. Anybody can use it. And you want to join the conversation on Facebook at the Blacksit Movement, because we're really trying to connect people with information and the tools that they're going to need in order to be able to find their peace elsewhere. Y'all, I think it's dire for people to start looking for a plan B option out of the United States. It's just, I don't want to get deep into it on this phone call, but, we can talk financially, politically, climate change, whatever, inflation. Clock's ticking, time to go. That ship Titanic hit an iceberg. It's been taking on water for a minute. y'all better get to the lifeboats, and the lifeboat, like Charlotte said, your ticket on the lifeboat is your passport. So, State Department's already trying to slow things down on passport issuances and renewals and all that good stuff. So, be prepared.
I want to touch on something, Charlie. It basically, is it 60 plus women? Passportability? Yes.
Valerie?
Yes, Valerie. Growing up, again, a bubble, I thought everyone had a passport. I did not know people did. My dad came from Senegal. Grandparents were from Panama, Jamaica. I just thought everyone had a passport.
Wow.
And in preparation for my move to Panama, I was going through my mom's records, and I found the immigration paperwork from my grandfather from Jamaica, where people had to testify about his character. 5 letters. And it was very surreal to see the process that he had to go through to leave another country, to go to the US, to afford himself and his future family opportunities. And that opportunity for me was to leave. And I could leave because I had a passport. I could explore the world because I had a passport. I could find the right country for me because I already had a passport. So even if you're watching the show because you're considering moving, or Panama, whatever it is, if you haven't gotten it already, you just want the option. One of our future questions this is going to lead into the next question, but you just want options. And you just never want to be stuck. Like it was said, you're not a tree. So I just wanted to share that. It's so important.
Not a problem. And I just saw a really good question that we need to. Here it is. Specific to Panama. So, oh God, Aisha, you see me trying to read this, right?
Eli Fancier says,
thank you, Eli.
It says, will Panama bring back the old friendly? I was just jotting that down. Will bring back the old friendly nations visa that they recently cut off last year? They didn't cut it off. They changed it. Yeah. So it is still available. It's just not as easy as it used to be. And I think that it's a wake-up call for people in the United States as well, because they can change their visa requirements anytime they want to. And so I think with more and more people leaving the United States and with that US passport, the other thing about that US passport is powerful. You can go to more places and stay longer just with your passport than other people can from other countries. And it's really amazing to sit and have a conversation with my neighbors who are Venezuelan, or my friend who is from Nicaragua. Their process of getting into Panama is so completely different than ours. So even though they have made the Friendly Nations visa more requirements, like there's a minimum purchase amount that you have to, is it $200,000 or $300,000 real estate purchase? Where it used to be $5,000 in the bank or something like that. So they've made it a little more difficult, but they've also added other programs. So, connect with, an attorney for the details, but it hasn't been cut off. People are still coming in through Friendly Nation visa, just not the same way.
Yeah, Friendly Nations visa is still one of the easiest visas on the planet to get. It's just going to cost you more. And we came at, let me make myself big. We came at the deadline of that. So we got here July 1st. I think they cut it off July 28th. And our attorneys were able to get Sonia into the process. And, the $5,000 versus $200,000 in property.
Yes.
There's a big difference.
It is.
It's a big difference. But to that end, one of the cool things about Panama is that there are multiple visas that you can get. It doesn't have to just be the Friendly Nations. They get digital nomad visas. So if you remote work, you can stay here. I think it's 18 months at a time, and then border hop take a flight someplace for 3 days and then come back for another 18 months. They have 4 station visas. I think we just learned that not too recently at brunch, where you can donate to a conservation effort and give visas. So there's all kinds of visas. But the magic bullet here is going to be getting information from an actual immigration attorney, which I am not. So. I know Giovanna's out there watching, like banging.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, get the advice from the people who know. But we can tell basically it's not discontinued. It's just harder.
Right. Now Eli had another comment, and he says he or she, I don't know. Love the show, by the way. Awesome content and info. Now, Eli, I'm going to need you to follow up on that content and let us know exactly what you're talking about, because it's going to be a big fight when this thing
goes. Yes, because I know he's talking about black expats. Because, I mean, look, when I saw that, I just assumed he was talking about black expats in Panama. We petty.
Right.
Don't do that.
Marsha.
I'm gonna tell everybody. So I started my channel before you, Will.
Yes.
Okay. So we go out and everyone's like, Senor Will, or everything's Will. Marsha. Like, we're out recording something. Charlotte's like, is that Will's? Like, I'm not here. I'm not here. So we joke about it. Like, I'm like Marsha. So,
it's collaboration. It's not competition. It's all it's all love.
It's all love. It's all love.
But I also saw
Tombstone.
I saw a comment from Tombstone, right?
Yeah, you can put up his last one.
Oh, Tombstone, you gonna say it twice? You already said it once, Tombstone. Come on.
You said I did find the channel first. Well, and then Mateo, he said he missed your videos. So don't be so petty, girl. But being in Panama, see, I don't go out that much. I really don't. My husband spoils me a lot, because I don't really care to go to the stores and stuff like that. And he just don't mind, and so I just don't go out a lot. I stay home, I work a lot. But I was happened to be out like quite a bit one month, and it was like, damn, every time I went out, somebody would say, Charlotte Van Horn. And I'm like, who is that? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of unsettling a little bit, because they know me and I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? And then when somebody says that, when somebody does that to you, you start thinking to yourself, who is this person? Like, is it somebody that I met and I can't remember who it is? And they can see your mind racing. And then sometimes they say, nah, you don't know me. I got in the elevator and the girl says, I got in the elevator and I says, arriba, meaning going up. And she says, Charlotte Van Horn. And I said, yeah. And I'm thinking, do I know you? She just, from me just saying that, she knew my voice. And she said, the reason me and my mother are in Panama is because of you. And I mean, that makes it all worthwhile. I really like what we're doing. And I like, as far as the expat squad, I think that what makes us so, we truly do love each other. And we all do have different kinds of platforms, but at the same time, we're all helping individuals who the individuals that want to think about making a move. And I don't even push Panama that hard. I love Panama, but what I'm saying is, whatever, just consider doing something different. But we're all different. We all disseminate information differently, and unfortunately, there is like a sort of like competition with some other people and other groups, within the larger network. And you know what? I just ignore that, because at the end of the day, I am here to work with my people. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm going to do. I said what I said.
Excellent. Yeah. And you saw my wife. Let me put it up again. My wife said we all have great camaraderie.
Thank you. We
She
truly
witnesses
do.
this all the time. What was that? Oh, the next question. So we got 2 questions left.
Okay.
Here's the first. Oh, next to the last one. Let me start here. Are there any other countries on your list? And this is only going to take me a second. So there were other countries on our list prior to getting here. We here now. We're happy, and we're open to processing new information. If something happens, like the U.S. decides they want to invade Panama again. And we're open to new information and would be willing to go someplace else, but it would have to take something, kind of drastic in order for us to do it. So we're extremely happy where we are. Panama is everything we thought it was going to be. That 4-hour flight to get back in case of an emergency is just really hard to beat, and I don't see myself being any more comfortable going that much further than we are now. So no other countries for me on my list. Plenty of countries to visit. Yes, there will be a lot of travel. There's going to be an insane amount of travel, but not for residency or living.
I am. So I am going to try and get my citizenship in Senegal, where my dad is from. And it's not that I want to move there. I just want options. Like, I'm in love with Panama. This is it. But plan B, C, D, E, and F. So I'm probably going to start with Senegal, and then I'm going to kind of look around. But I'm not in a rush to look around. I think I found my forever home, but you just never know. That was it.
Hey, Seema, how you doing?
Hey, Seema. Hey, Claudia. Hey, listen. I feel like make me big, Will.
Hold on. I
I'm
got.
finna
I'm in all these buttons. I'm in all these buttons. Okay, there you go.
Look, I'm with Aisha in the sense that I am keeping my options open. Matter of fact, I am addicted, I think, to the power of having an alternate ID. Look, what's in your wallet? Because in my wallet, I have a military ID, I have a Florida ID, I have a Panamanian ID, and all of those IDs represent different types of freedom. Okay. And so I am, I am looking at some other countries, shameless plug. I own another business called Black Expats Worldwide, and you'll be seeing a lot more of that as the coming year comes. But we do explore and take people to other countries as well. Panama is my love right now, and that's where I am. But listen, just because you have another ID in your wallet doesn't mean that you have to actually, live there full time. Shit can get crazy up in here too. You know what I mean? Panama, there's something that could happen in Panama that I might say, yeah, I don't want to go back to the US, but Panama's tripping. You know what I'm saying? I want to have somewhere else to go too. So I just think that having choices and options is everything. It's like we are our ancestors' wildest dream, y'all. Our ancestors couldn't cross the street without fearing for their lives. But we actually have the ability to not only travel to other countries, but actually lay down roots there. And as we're doing this, we are changing the trajectory for all of our generations to come. And for even people that are in our family, they see us doing this and they be like, dang, I could do that too. Everybody know, if my crazy tail could do it, you can do it too. And there's nothing wrong with it, baby.
Go take us out of here, fella.
Colombia, I'm looking at Colombia, Mexico, but they got some other ones out here that are like really popular. I'm just going to wait and see where I go that I feel like I feel love.
There's a lot of love out there, though. But I mean, so you just mentioned Colombia. I mean,
woo, Cartagena.
There's a lot of love in Colombia.
Yes,
I
it
really
is.
like the pervasiveness of the Afro-Colombian culture, and
never seen nothing like it.
Seeing myself reflected in the mass media and the billboards.
Everywhere.
Just everywhere. I was just like, like a big comfy shirt, like woo.
Yes. To be in like this big 5-star hotel where I was in every floor, every room had Black people, art with Black people on it. They do not deny their Black culture there. Panama, it took a little while for Panama to really start trying to embrace. And even now, baby, I was hard pressed to find a Black Santa up in this piece. Okay, listen, I'm just saying, when it came to Christmas time, there was not a lot of diversity in the Christmas decorations that I saw. Now, like I said, I don't do a lot of shopping, but back when I've been coming to Panama since 2004. And when I tell you that there is a big shift in Panama with regard to them embracing the Afro side, and I am so happy and proud to be able to bring people into that because it's an amazing, strong, proud culture and history of Afro-Panamanians here. And before, all you saw was white dolls. But, things are changing.
I'm impressed with what I see the Panamanian government's involvement in helping to reclaim some of that Afro-Panamanian culture and the steps that they're doing. Like, I guess in a couple of months it'll be Etia Negra again. And I mean, that's their Black History Month. But their Black History Month is way different than ours. I mean, ours is like, McDonald's sales for Big Macs and, furniture sales for MLK Day or whatever. Theirs was, the school kids were dressing up in traditional African wear like our kids dress up as pilgrims and, well, I don't think anybody's dressing up as Indians. They all dress up as pilgrims. So. It was just it was different and surreal seeing that. And then at the time we lived in Gorgona, so when I left the Bahia and went for my walks through the neighborhood, I'm watching the kids walking to school and seeing them all made up. Oh my God, it did my heart so good. I was just like,
everybody participates. Everybody participates in Etnia Negra, which I think translates to ethnic Negro, something like that. But it's the Black History. It used to be a day in May, and then they took them up. Okay, right. And but what I like is that all of Panama, regardless of their shade, they participate in that, and we don't really see that as prevalent in the United States. And I think that a lot of times, even Black History Month, I think that even Blacks in the United States, we've just gotten to the point where we take it for granted. I mean, do you really participate in things, related to Black History Month now? I mean, we should, because especially with, critical race theory, being such a controversy, teaching history being such a controversy in the United States. And listen, at the end of the day, even with that CRT, that stuff going on, actually it's our responsibility to make sure that our kids know those things and that our kids know the history,
Eli wants to know if there's a strong Yoruba and Cameroon community in Panama.
Don't know.
I mean, Eli, I know a little bit of Yoruba because I was in the Glee Club at Morehouse, and I know they taught me some songs. And then me and my friends used to sit on the Martyr train and say the lyrics of the song to each other like we were foreigners, and it worked. People thought we were, but that's about it. That's all I know. I haven't heard any of that.
You have a strong Congo,
right?
A strong Congo, presence here.
Yeah, a lot more time in 2023 in Cologne, learning a little bit more about what's going on up there with the old Maroon communities and King Bayano. And, I just posted the story of King Bayano a couple of days ago. That is, for anyone in Hollywood, Spike Lee, if you happen to be watching this, or Tyler Perry.
Of course he is. Oh, you know Spike's watching.
Pretty please, can we get one more King Bayano? Pretty. I know everybody wants to do freedom movies. Will Smith called it freedom. Like, I know, King Bayano was never free. So that's freedom. That's freedom to me. But anyway,
Alfredo used to talk about him. It's hard to find images of him. Did you find images? Yes.
In the video that I saw, I just happened.
Oh, okay.
YouTube served it up to me just right there, like
boom, like boom, stickety boom, like boom, boom, pow.
So I subscribed because that's power. Yeah. There's power in that subscription. There's power in that subscription. So someone, by the way, I saw the comment come through. Thank you. They said they subscribed to my channel. They came from Aisha or Charlotte. Of course, they never heard of me. So, but thank you.
Funny.
Thank you. And then what Charlotte was saying
I think we need to let them go on about their life. We've been talking for almost 2 hours now.
Yes. All right.
Questions?
We had 2 more, but I will go to.
Okay, what you got? Real quick. Y'all want to hear these last 2 questions? Or tell us the door to the house? Oh. I'll tell you. You want to know mine?
Yes, please.
Over here. In Panama, I would find that sometimes the ladies, they just kind of have this, like, I don't know, this nonchalant thing going on. And so This is when I knew absolutely no Spanish whatsoever. I mean, zero. And we needed to get something done. And Alfredo was trying to explain to they speaking in Spanish. So in my mind, it's like blah, 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 blah. And then he's doing all this explaining, and she looked up at him and said da 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 da. And then he da 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 da. And then she said da 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 da. And I said, what she say? He was like, Cheyenne, she's trying to help us. But I was ready to fight her. And so it's just for me not knowing, Spanish and trying to read body language in an environment and culture that wasn't used to, and I felt so bad. He was like, Cheyenne, she's trying to help us. I said, oh, okay. That was my funniest experience.
Uh-oh. I'm typing something.
What?
I was typing something. You're finished.
Oh, you expected me to carry on, huh?
Yeah, I was trying to answer.
That was a short story.
Mateo asked a good question. My channel is Big Will TV, Mateo. Aisha, you have a funny experience?
I mean, Charlotte found it to be funny. I didn't. Like, I mean, I moved in here and the toilet seats don't cover the entire toilet bowl rim.
Baby.
Like in the bedroom and the half bath. So you're sitting on cold porcelain.
Rude and obnoxious.
That's funny.
Yeah.
My experience really is really about the language barrier. So when I first came here, I was having issues because the furniture in our first apartment was crappy, and we lived on a really bumpy road. So I thought I was having sciatica and seeing an orthopedic and getting MRIs and all that stuff. Even getting epidural shots. I had to get a series of 4 epidural injections in my behind, and on the first one is when this experience happened. So, I'm in the room with the nurse, and she's pulling out this horse needle. It's huge, and she's giving me the instructions on what to do. And I'm, lo siento, no habla español, and she's looking at me disapprovingly and everything. So I'm feeling like the need to explain myself. So I'm like, okay, I'm learning Spanish, some aprendiendo español, and yo habla restaurante. I can speak restaurants. Yo habla hotels. I can go to a hotel. Yo habla taxi. And then she looked at me and said, but no habla médico. Muy importante. Now turn around and take this.
See. She said, you need to know medical. Yes.
Right.
That's
so,
true.
I literally had to suck it up. So I sucked it up, and now I can speak a little bit more medical. But the experience here has been wonderful, and I'm going to get this last one in here because I think we can squeeze this in and still be out in time. Does anyone have any regrets or wish they had any do-overs with this experience?
I would have said I wish I handled some of my affairs in the US before I moved. But I think because I didn't, it allowed me to remove that pressure of always getting things done. So I do not.
Okay. My regret is not jettisoning as much stuff as we should have on the way out. We put way too much in storage, and I understand, we were going through that. Well, what if this doesn't work out? We need to, we don't want to have to come back and buy a whole house full of furniture again. Stepping out on faith is stepping out on faith. You can't have one foot in, one foot out. So now we're dealing with the consequences of not jettisoning that stuff, and having that anchor of a storage bill hit us every month. So at some point we'll be back to handle that. That would be and not doing it sooner. that's a regret. I think about that all the time. If I had done this, where would I have been if we had done this 10 years from now? Charlotte touched upon it earlier. The opportunities that present themselves here can be tremendous. I had no idea some of the stuff that is happening to me now was going to happen. I knew I was going to try to tell family and friends about our experiences, but I had no idea what telling my family and friends about our experiences was going to lead me to. So, very excited. And with that, let me.
Will, make me big, Will. Look at here. I feel like you are where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be here. 10 years ago, had you come here and doing what you're doing right now, you wouldn't have had the resources. You would not have had Black expats in Panama to catch you when you got here. It was different then. You're here when you're supposed to be. So I'm okay with that. We invested 10 years ago, and I'm glad that we did, because our total living expenses, as far as if we didn't have anything else, and all we had was all we had to keep was our house, then we could do that with way under $1,200. And that's the best retirement plan we ever did make. That is the best retirement plan. That's the best. Moving to Panama is the best decision that me and my husband, in our almost 30 years being together, have made. Okay. With that, I'm serious. It is just like I thank him and I kiss him regularly, for that, because he being here had just allowed me to have a different life. I'm 58 and I work at Black expats in Panama because I love what I'm doing, but I don't have to. And it is the first time in my life that I've ever been able to say that. So I'll say that. As far as regrets, I really wish that I had, worked on my Spanish more before I got here, because Spanish is the biggest barrier for me. And so I just wish that I had worked on my Spanish more. But other than that, I think that I am where I'm supposed to be at the time that I'm supposed to be here. This is my season, baby. You understand?
It sure is. It sure is solid. We're going to claim all of this in 2023. It's going to be wonderful. Let me put a couple comments on here. Claudia, look, we miss y'all too. And yes, we did miss the mango margaritas. Oh my God. Okay, so we need you to come back.
We missed you on the catamaran net too.
Right.
I thought about you. Matter of fact, I poured a little liquor in the ocean for you.
I'm saying, Claudia, you're only a flight away. Y'all like to hop in flights and come down. We got all kinds of stuff coming up. As a matter of fact, Aisha, anything you want us to, know about merch, whatever, on the way out?
Are you gonna put the link?
So, yes.
Have a merch line. You can purchase some clothing regarding abroadability, becoming an expat loading, travel loading, kind of where you are on your journey. I did see some of the comments about the videos. I'm working on them. I have one coming out on Cologne, and then I see someone's purging. I have one coming out on purging as well. Bear with me, guys. It's really hard to make videos, and I'm enjoying doing nothing. But they're coming. They're coming. Right. Thank you for the support, everyone. Love you guys.
Yes.
Y'all, these videos, they take a long time to make, y'all. It ain't. Yes. It's a labor of love for everybody involved, because YouTube ain't paying us nothing. YouTube, we still like you. We still like you, YouTube. Don't take it the wrong way.
Listen. You don't know how long, my videos are less sophisticated than anybody's videos. And I'm not going to sit there and do it over and over and over again. So you're going to get what you're going to get. It's going to be my best, but you're going to get what you're going to get. If I mess up, I'm going to say my bad and keep it rolling, because it takes a lot of time to do those little videos. I try to make them special for y'all. But wait a minute, Samika. What you mean? Wait. Videos of broadability. Well, okay, so what about beat videos?
She said you look great, Scarlett.
Marsha.
Okay. So what I wanted to say was I always have a ton of stuff going on. So Will probably ain't got nothing to scroll across the screen for me. But on January 6th, we have Single and Satisfied. We are doing a bike ride at the Causeway Amador. On January 11th, we are having our second business to business, our B2B. See, we have all kind of communities to help bring people together and help us to grow our business and expand and help one another. Then we have, oh my God, Cafe and Conversation. That is January 22nd. You can contact me for more information on these things. You don't want to miss February 11th. If you happen to be in Panama or going to be in Panama, February 11th is going to be our second annual Panama residency celebration. If you have a provisional residency that you got in 2022, we want to celebrate you. And last year we had like 40 recipients, and it was just really cool, great time. Always just meeting each other. As always, we have our cultural relocation tours, and they are 9 months out the year, typically from the 1st through the 5th. And you can contact me for more information about them. And I mean, I won't bore you with the rest of the stuff, but I'm just saying, keep your big eye on me, baby, because 2023, woo! Yes, Lord, 2023.
Where can they find you?
Okay. I'm sorry. Let's go.
I'm done. Where can they find you? Tell them.
Okay. What'd you say?
Where can they find you?
Black Expats in Panama.net. You can find me, or Black Expats in Panama anywhere else on social media. Black Expats in Panama _TM on Instagram. Mm-hmm.
There it is. All right. So for Big Will, much easier schedule to manage. Not quite as busy. However, I do run a group on Facebook called Black Men in Panama. We're part of the Black Expats in Panama family. By all means, look us up on Facebook, search Black Men in Panama, and you can find us and join the conversation there. There's the Blacks at Movement group on Facebook as well. So look that up, join us there. And then to reach me personally, the best way is either on YouTube or through Facebook. In both places, it's Big Will TV, no spaces, just put it in there, and you can find me. We have the Black Men in Panama and Big Will TV are sponsoring a fishing excursion to the Pearl Islands on January 27th. We'll be leaving from the marina right here in Avenida Balboa and going on a nice boat, catching some trout and barracuda and mahi and tuna, and other. Y'all, this is my first time DC fishing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna be there following instructions, and I'm gonna have my bottle of Abuelo with me, so it's gonna be all. It's gonna be all good. We're gonna get to explore Conadora Island for a while, and lunch is included, and beer and all that good stuff. So join us and have a good time. You can find that through Big Will TV on Facebook as well. So that page is open. You don't have to be my friend or anything. Easy to reach out to me. And everything else, come back to the channel to see. And the channel is Big Will TV as well. So I'm going to end with that and thank everyone for joining us, y'all. This could not have happened without your engagement and your participation. I am so super excited. I've
Me
been
too.
watching the counter the whole
Yes.
time, and I'm like, yay! So
They're
thank
staying with us.
yes. Apparently, we might have something to say. Who knew? So this will not be the last time you see the Expat Squad. We will definitely be coming back again in the future for some more information. So we look forward to seeing everyone again, and y'all keep following us on all of our channels. And
And let us know if there's things that we didn't cover that you would like us to cover next time, we get together. And at this point, guys, we're all Black-owned businesses, too. So we do a lot of things for the community, but we're still Black-owned business. So we appreciate your support. Black Expats in Panama has the BCP, which is the Beat Community Platform, and that is a paid platform that actually helps us to continue to do some of the things that we do, like some of the events that I said that we're going to have, because I don't charge for them. It's just us doing things to bring the community together and help. So, you support Black business when you support us, and we like to bring you value. So thank you.
yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
All right, everyone. See you
Good
next time.
night. Thanks for watching.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Adios.